Respected teachers and my dear friends, I'm Elkin Vinod of Class 8A. Today is Moon Day. Do you know why we celebrate Moon Day? When Neil Armstrong stepped down onto the moon's cratered surface with the words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," every nation on Earth seemed to breathe a collective sigh of relief. Moon Day celebrates not only the historic lunar landing on July 20, 1969, but the day also reminds us of the uphill slog to get the space program literally off the ground. On Moon Day, we remember both the quirky and profound moments in space race that ended with the American being the first to plant their flag on the moon. How the moon got its name. Earth's only natural satellite is simply called the moon because people didn't know other moons existed until Galileo Galilei discovered 4 moons orbiting Jupiter in 1610. Other moons in our solar system are given names so that they won't be confused with each other. We call them moons because, like our own, they are natural satellites orbiting a solar system body, which in turn is orbiting a star. The moon is one of the smallest of the heavenly bodies which can be seen from the Earth, but it is the nearest to us, and on that account, with the exception of the Sun, appears to target. The moon travels round the Earth in a period of about 1 month, just as the Earth goes round the Sun in a day. The Earth, however, turns round upon its axis once every 24 hours, thus causing the alternation of day and night, whereas the moon takes a month to revolve on her axis, so that she always presents to us very nearly the same surface. The moon has no light of her own like the sun and the stars, but shines by means of the reflected light of the sun, as the side which we see is not always that upon which the sun shines. A form appears to change and to grow larger and smaller. In physical condition, the moon differs widely from the Earth. Even to the naked eye, some peculiarities are obvious. If we attentively watch the full moon, we soon become familiar with its spotted surface, which never changes. From this, the conclusion is drawn that it cannot be like that of the Earth, which is often obscured by clouds and mist. If we use the telescope, we find that all the details of the moon's surface are hard and cold. There is no shade or delicate coloring, and nothing like mist or cloud has ever been seen. There seems to be nothing but bare rock and sand, or ice and snow, and there are no traces of vegetation or animal life. The moon is a mass of mountains and extinct volcanoes. Several of the craters have a diameter of 40 or 50 miles. One of them has a diameter of as much as 78 miles. Many have central cones closely resembling those in the volcanic regions of the Earth. In some cases, the craters are filled nearly to the brim with lava. The volcanoes, however, seem to be all extinct. The mountains are extremely rugged in character, a feature that is mainly due to the absence of air and water. On the Earth, the hills are rounded and molded by action of storms, by rain and snow. But as these agencies are absent from the moon, its mountains stand as rugged as when they were first formed millions of years ago. The moon is of an essential service to man. Combined with the sun, it exerts an attraction upon the Earth, which is the cause of the tides. Tides are of great service to navigation. They carry vessels in and out of ports and keep navigable many harbors, which would otherwise become impossible owing to the slitting up of the world's work and not skulk in idleness. The moon is the only natural satellite of the Earth. The moon orbits the Earth from 384,400 kilometers and has an average speed of 3,700 kilometers per hour. It has a diameter of 3,476 kilometers, which is about 1/4 that of the Earth. The moon is the second brightest object in the sky after the sun. The gravitational forces between the Earth and the moon cause some interesting effects. Tides are the most obvious ones. The moon has no atmosphere, but there is evidence that there may be water ice in some deep craters near the moon's north and south pole that are permanently shaded. Most of the moon's surface is covered with regalia, which is a mixture of fine dust and rocky debris produced by meteor impacts. There are 2 types of terrain on the moon, One is the heavily cratered and very old highland. The others are the relatively smooth younger craters that were flooded with molten lava. Through the 19th and 20th centuries, visual exploration through powerful telescopes has fielded a fairly comprehensive picture of visible side of the moon. The hitherto unseen far side of the moon was first revealed to the world in October 1959 through photographs made by the Soviet Lunik 3 spacecraft. This photograph showed that the far side of the moon is similar to the near side, except the large lunar maria is absent. Craters are now known to cover the entire moon, ranging in size from huge ringed maria to those of microscope size. The entire moon has about 3 trillion craters larger than about 1 meter in diameter. The moon shows different phases as it moves along its orbit around the Earth. Half the moon is always in sunlight, just as half the Earth has day while the other half has night. The phases of moon depend on how much of the sunlit half can be seen at any one time. In the new moon, the face is completely in shadow. About a week later, the moon is in first quarter, resembling a half circle. Another week later, the full moon shows its fully lighted surface. A week afterward, in its last quarter, the moon appears as a half circle again. The entire circle is repeated each lunar month, which is approximately 29.5 days. The moon is filling when it is farther away from the sun than the Earth. It is new when it is closer. When it is more than half illuminated, it is said to be in gibbous phase. The moon is when it progresses from full to new, and the waxing as it proceeds again to full. Temperatures on its surface are extreme, ranging from a maximum of 127 degrees Celsius, which is 261 degrees Fahrenheit, at lunar noon, to a minimum of minus 173 degrees Celsius, which is minus 279 degrees Fahrenheit, just before lunar dawn. Just before the autumnal equinox on about September 23rd, during this season, the moon rises at a point opposite to the sun, or close to the exact eastern point of die horizon. Moreover, the moon rises only a few minutes later each night, affording on several successive evenings an attractive moonrise close to sunset time and a strong moonlight almost all night if the sky is not clouded. The continuance of moonlight after sunset is useful to farmers in northern latitudes who are then harvesting their crops. The full moon following the harvest, which exhibits the same phenomenon in a lesser degree, is called the hunter's moon. A similar phenomenon to the harvest moon is observed in southern latitudes at the spring equinox on about March 21. The moon was first visited by the USSR's Luna 1 and Luna 2 in 1959. These were followed by a number of US and Soviet robotic spacecraft. The US sent 3 classes of robotic missions to prepare the way for human exploration. The first human landing on Moon was on 20 July 1969. During the Apollo missions of 1969 to 1972, 12 American astronauts walked on the Moon and used a lunar roving vehicle to travel on the surface and extend their studies of soil mechanics, meteorites, lunar ranging, magnetic fields, and solar wind. The Apollo astronauts brought back 382 kg, which is equal to 842 pounds of rock and soil to Earth for study. A new era of international lunar exploration began in earnest in the new millennium. The European Space Agency was first with Smart 1 in 2003, followed by 3 spacecrafts from other nations during the years 2007 and 2008. Kaguya, Japan, Chang'e, China, and Chandrayaan-1, India. Thank you so much for listening to me. I hope that this was helpful for you. Thank you, God bless, and stay safe.